How many times have you been told to send more cold emails or spend more time creating content that converts just for your calendar to remain empty? Every single video you watch gives you the same basic advice, and you're starting to feel like these outreach methods simply aren't going to work for you. And you'd be surprised to know that the real reason you're not booking any sales calls actually has nothing to do with how hard you're working or with your level of experience, but rather it's because you're using 2019 strategies in 2025 going into 2026. Here's what's happening with methods like cold email right now. First of all, 17% of cold emails don't even reach the inbox. And that's from a study that I'm going to link down below in the description. Second, out of the emails that do get delivered, inbox placement collapsed from over 50% to under 28% in just 1 year. That means that out of 100 emails that you send, only 28 of them will actually land in the inbox, while the rest will go to promotions or spam. And so what this means is that it's not just that your emails are getting ignored, they're just not even reaching your prospects. So you can probably guess that the advice sending more cold emails isn't really a solution to your problem. And I get it. You're not looking for another hack or some basic advice on sounding more human. You simply want a system that consistently books you a decent amount of sales calls every single month. This way you can finally escape the constant cycle of doing more but getting nothing in return. And so in this video, I'm going to share the 3 real reasons why you're not getting results with your cold outreach right now, and the cold system that's actually working right now to book businesses like Drippy.ai over 150 sales calls every single month for the last 1.5 years. So mistake number 1 is using the wrong outreach channel. So why is it that you're currently struggling to consistently book sales calls even though you've studied the cold outreach game and you've spent countless hours not only scraping leads but also coming up with the good angles for your outreach? It's not what you're thinking. It's not your offer like everyone else is saying, but rather it's the acquisition channel that you're using. You see, cold email is purely a volume and numbers game. Your competitors that are sending more emails and spending more money are simply always going to beat you. Instead, you need to switch to an acquisition channel that, number 1, pretty much guarantees that your messages are read by landing in the right inbox. Number 2, a place where prospects can trust you immediately because they can verify your credibility with literally just 1 click. And number 3, a place where you can actually stand out because your prospects aren't getting hundreds of messages every single day. Now, the best channel for this, and the one I'm referring to, is X or Twitter DMs. Now, I know what you're thinking. You've probably never heard of Twitter as a B2B marketing channel, but hear me out. Number 1, on Twitter, it's super easy to find people that are actually interested in what you have to sell because you can find people based off of who they follow or who they've interacted with. Number 2, compared to something like email or LinkedIn, Twitter DMs are way more conversational and feel way less salesy, meaning people don't have their guards up whenever they get a new message as long as you're doing everything correctly. And number 3, it's super easy to build trust if you have a good profile, which is literally just having a clean profile picture, having a good cover photo, some content on there about what it is that you do, and paying $8 a month for a blue check verification. Now, you're probably getting warmed up to the fact that Twitter DMs are the new way of doing outreach. You're probably asking yourself how you can use them to actually scale your business. Well, don't worry, because I created a full Twitter DM guide for completely free that you can access by hitting the first link down below the description. It's a step-by-step guide that gives you the exact templates for what to send, builds lead lists for you completely, and it gives you exact templates for what you want your messages to look like. It helps you scrape leads no matter what industry you're in, and it even gives you a checklist going over every single detail that you need in order for your profile to look as pristine as possible. So once again, if you're interested in that, hit the first link down below the description. Completely free video right here on YouTube. The second biggest mistake I see is misaligned timing. What I mean by that is that outreach isn't solely a volume game, but rather it's a game of understanding your market and how aware they are of your current solution. And with Twitter, you're very easily able to determine whether someone is remotely interested in what you have to offer them. And you end up not burning your brand because you're using signals to determine who to reach out to and who not to reach out to based on how aware they are of the problem they have in your solution. And honestly, this mistake is very, very important. I don't see enough people talking about it. It's very important to understand who it is that you're reaching out to. There's different levels of awareness when it comes to cold outreach. First, we have unaware, then problem aware, then solution aware, then product aware, and then most aware. Whenever you're doing cold outreach, you want to be more so on the aware side side of the spectrum and not so much in the unaware side of it. Reason being, yes, this is cold outreach, but you want to be reaching out to people that at least have some notion about either the problem you solve or who you are as a company. If you wanted to run a very easy campaign and go after the most aware audience, you can just go after the people that follow you. If you want to go one step back, you can target your competitors' following, for example, for an audience that is solution aware. And whenever you're doing outreach, this is how you want to think through building your lead lists. Start off with the people that are most aware, then go one step back and look at the people that are product aware, then one step back, solution aware. And if you run out of people there, then that's when you can get into problem aware and completely unaware. But just starting off, I would always go to most aware. This is the lowest hanging fruit and it's going to get you the quickest results. And the third most common mistake I see is sending generic messages. This really depends on who it is that you're targeting, but for the vast majority of people, you really do not want to be sending generic messages. Whenever coming up with copy to send out to prospects, there's three main things that I focus on. Number one, the opening line. Number two, the body. And then number three, the call to action. If you don't have a good opening line or a hook, people won't read the rest of your message. And so what they say is that you want to spend 80% of your time coming up with the hook, because if your hook doesn't do its job, no one's going to see the rest of your message. Once you have a really good hook, you want to get into the body, essentially just explain what it is that you do and potentially some case studies, talk about who you've helped, and then a nice clear call to action. And if you do this, you'll be ahead of 90% of messages out there. But again, don't try to fake personalization. Don't just use a generic script. Show people that you've done your research on them and try to send messages that seem impossible to automate. That's really the key when it comes to writing good scripts. And so here's exactly what I would do if I were in your position right now after watching this video. First, I would optimize my profile. Like I said, it's just having a clean profile picture, clean cover photo, buying the blue check mark, and making sure you have relevant content that makes you look like an authority. Then I would find 20 to 30 people that fit my ICP perfectly. Then I would look at who they follow to find more similar accounts. And then I would create a personalized message with my offer for each one of these different people. And this is really all you need to focus on now that you understand why you're struggling to book sales calls. It's not your offer or the volume of messages that you're sending. It all comes down to the right channel, understanding who your prospects are and how aware they are about your specific solution, what they want, and creating a message that actually stands out in their inbox. Sending cold Twitter DMs can't be the fastest way to fill up your calendar, but only if you can actually send hundreds of highly personalized messages every single day. And the way to do that is by automating the whole thing and not spending all day writing messages and copy and pasting them into Twitter's inbox. And my favorite way of doing this is through an AI software that not only scrapes leads for you, but it also sends highly personalized messages on complete autopilot. And this is great because literally all you have to do is set it up and then you just book calls as replies start coming in. It's called Drippy.ai, and if you hit the second link down below the description, you'll be able to try out for completely free for 7 complete days. And that's it. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.